Isn't it amazing how some snakes break the mold when it comes to their looks? Those bush vipers are the real showstoppers in the snake kingdom. Their colors and spiky appearance make them stand out in the most fascinating way. But remember, their bite is no less intriguing. It's what gives them their reputation for being quite the formidable creatures. Bush vipers can be found nowhere else except in sub-Saharan Africa, excluding southern Africa. These venomous snakes share traits with pit vipers from Asia and South America. But what sets them apart is the bush in their name. So far, there are up to 17 recognized species of bush vipers. When it comes to their physical features, they're relatively small compared to other snakes, with adults ranging from 21 to 30 inches in length. What makes them stand out is their broad, triangular head. These snakes also have relatively large eyes with elliptical pupils, making them quite the lookers. One of their unique traits is their prehensile tail, which allows them to hang from branches or twigs with ease. Although they're known for their aggressive tendencies, you'll mostly find them in areas far from human activity. These snakes are strictly arboreal, which means they prefer tree hugging over ground crawling. Their scientific name is Atheris species, and they're skilled hunters, preying on small amphibians, lizards, rodents, birds, and even other snakes. Some enjoy a frog catch every now and then also. They prefer ambushing their prey from a hanging position, waiting until it succumbs to their venom, and then they gobble their meal. So let's explore 10 fascinating bush viper species you might come across in the African wilderness. These snakes often draw comparisons to dragons or mythical creatures. Their keeled scales resemble leaves or spikes, which help them blend seamlessly into their green, leafy surroundings. We'll start with the variable bush viper, also known as the common bush viper or African bush viper. You'll find them exclusively in West and Central Africa. What's truly fun about these vipers is their wide range of striking colors, which can include shades like olive green, slate gray, blue, orange, yellow, and even red. It's fascinating how bush vipers are like the chameleons of the snake world, showcasing a wide spectrum of colors even within the same group. And when it comes to naming, it seems these vipers follow the same colorful pattern too. Take the rough-scaled bush viper, for example. It's also known as the spiny bush viper, hairy bush viper, rough-scaled tree viper, African hairy bush viper, and simply the hairy viper. That's up to 7 different names. With their highly keeled scales, they sport a somewhat hairy or spiny appearance and are mostly found in Central Africa. Now, let's talk about the Uzungwe viper, which also goes by several names, including Barber's viper, worm-eating viper, Barber's short-headed viper, and Uzungwe mountain bush viper. It's one of the few bush vipers with a proper African name. These vipers call the Uzungwe and Ukinga mountains in south-central Tanzania home, and they're quite distinct, with a total length of just 16 inches and shades of brown to blackish brown. This, in turn, somewhat narrows down their identifiable traits. And what about the elusive Cameroon bush viper, also known as Broadleaf's bush viper? Sightings of these vipers are incredibly rare, leaving us with little documentation. They can be found in the eastern province of Cameroon and the Central African Republic, and they're among the longer bush vipers, measuring roughly 30 inches. Staying on the subject of rare snakes, let's talk about the Mount Mabu forest viper. You'll only find these special vipers on Mount Mabu in Mozambique, located in Southeast Africa. It's quite a recent discovery, dating back to 2006 when Dr. Julian Bayliss stumbled upon them. These vipers sport the typical keeled scales seen in bush vipers and rock a mesmerizing blend of brown shades, complemented by their striking golden eyes. Trust me, they're a sight to behold. Moving on to the Usumbata bush vipers. These fellas are impressive, not just for their raised scales, but also for the 3 to 5 horn-like protrusions above their eyes. Their base color can range from yellow to yellow-green or olive, adorned with various black markings. Interestingly, the females tend to be longer, reaching up to 21 inches, while the males usually grow to around 17 inches. And there's one more bush viper species with an African name coming up. But let's take a trip to West Africa, where we encounter the West African leaf viper. These stunning vipers sport a light green hue with soft yellow spots running down their backs. It's amazing to note that newborns start off as tan brown and morph into a yellow-green shade within 24 hours. You might also want to watch out for their relatively slender bodies and long tails, stretching from 20 to 28 inches. Last, but definitely not least, we have the runway bush viper, a distinct-looking bush viper exclusively found in Tanzania, Zambia, and Malawi. These vipers are among the longer ones, with an average length of around 26 inches. Their coloration is a mix of various greens with black splotches and striking yellow zigzag-like patterns along their bodies. And yes, there's that African name to consider. On a sadder note, species like the Mount Kenya bush viper, a species only found in limited areas of Chuka, Kenya, are threatened by poaching. Fear of snakes is common in Kenya, both because of the risk of snake bites and beliefs that snakes are evil. So these conditions make cracking down on poaching more difficult. Yet another new species of snake, called Matilda's horned viper, was recently discovered in a small southern Tanzania forest. Unfortunately, the snake is already believed to be critically endangered because loggers are destroying its already small habitat. On their part, scientists are keeping the snake's exact location a secret in order to protect it from black market pet dealers. Rest assured, organizations like the Viper Specialist Group, as well as the Save the Snakes Group, are making moves to stem the tide of poaching and other related factors, which contribute to the decline of bush viper populations. All in all, you'd agree that bush vipers are nothing short of stunning. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for embarking on this captivating journey with us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Nature's Flex for more mesmerizing tales of nature's wonders. Until next time, stay wild and keep exploring.